Hotel Pitter. We're in Salzburg, Austria now. This is the Sound of Music city. It's about an hour and a half ride east of Munich. Another 2.5 hours to Vienna, which we don't go on this trip, but which I've done a few times. I think we're on a bus tour now around the city. We drove the Volvo on this trip, 2,000 or 3,000 miles. Some of the cliffs around Salzburg. There's the countryside. Oh, I think we're up in the Schloss now, the castle, overlooking the river. Some of the countryside and mountains. Very mountainous country around here. Salzburg sits in a valley. Very peaceful, quiet valley. There's the spires of a lot of the churches and town hall buildings. Good profile of the town. It's one of the town squares. Autobahn to Munich. That's where we just came from. We stopped in Munich for a few hours, I think. Showed the listeners the Glockenspiel and some of the sights downtown. Then drove on to Salzburg. We spent the night in this Hotel Pitter, which I sent down a letter from recently. There's some of the clock towers, but I didn't get down to get the title. It's more the scenery around Salzburg, just random shots. There's Don in front of one of the statues. There's a church we toured later, and there's the Schloss that we'll see up on top of the mountain. We drove there late at night up a footpath with the Volvo to the top of that mountain. We wanted to see the city view, and we thought we were driving up a street. It turned out to be a footpath. That was Don's directions, his co-pilot guidance system. Here's Adrie getting off a bus, or getting into a bus, Sue and Don in the back seat. What a cute little girl. Marjorie making her faces. Some more of the castles and Schloss around. Well, this was the fortress guarding the river. Now we're going over the Großglockner Pass. 805 meters is about 2,500 feet. We're going to be approaching the glacier that Großglockner Pass is cut through. Some of the beautiful scenery around Austria. There's the glacier in the distance, I believe. On the mountains, the sun's reflecting beautifully, and there's the ice caps. One side of the road was fall foliage, and the other side was a glacier. Very interesting topology. Some more scenes in the glacier, reflections of the sun, beautiful blue sky. It's quite cold there. We'd come from maybe 70-degree temperatures down to about 40, 45 degrees. And wherever there was shadows, shade from the sun, there was still ice. And the distance, a glacier. Drove into Cortino d'Ampezzo. We spent the night there after Salzburg. This is the room we had in Cortina, balcony like Waldenbuch. Beautiful city, great Italian food. Oh, that was a spider that was on the side of our lodge. There's some mountains, ski resort. It's a famous ski village. They've held several Winter Olympics here. Some of the mountains and cliffs. These are the Alps, the Italian Alps. Beautiful sky. And there's a ski jump, an Olympic ski type jump, for the daredevils, skiing daredevils who wish to partake in that. When you do that, there's the Olympic symbols. You jump from there and you fly about 200 or 300 meters down the bottom of the hill. Some of the surrounding Alp mountain range. Had to take boats everywhere, of course. I think we're on the equivalent of a taxi. You put your luggage onto a boat. Not that kind of a boat. We're going by some of the steamers coming in. But a speedboat, and the speedboat takes you to an area close by. Oh, this was freezing. I remember this scene. Shooting the guys. I was in the middle, in the center there in the cabin, shooting out. And it was windy. Wind chill factor must have taken it down to about 10 degrees. Very bumpy ride. Going by St. Peter's Square. Our hotel was just around the corner from St. Peter's. Some of the church scenes. There's another Compania shot. Skyline of Venice, as seen from the water. There's the Doge's Palace, famous in history, the rulers of Venice. And this is the landing spot where we landed, and we strolled to our hotel. Everything's on the water in Venice. Unbelievable city, dedicated to man's faith in the impossible. Sunset. We're going under some of the bridges that are all over Venice, going over the canals. Steps and bridges going over pathways. And here we are on a gondola. There's singing gondolier. Happy-go-lucky guy. Hi, guy. As Jimmy would say. Come on, you sing, he said to us. Come on, sing a little bit. He was taking us to the Venice glass blowing exhibition. And there's a team of racers. More of the buildings around Venice. It was an unbelievable city. Very lovely. There's our gondolier again. And we're going to see St. Mark's Cathedral. There's a bell tower on the top of St. Mark's that would ring on the half hour and the hour. Those guys would actually swing their metal clubs, and those horses were stolen by Napoleon, taken to Paris, and then returned several hundred years later, or 100 years later. This is the top of St. Peter's Basilica. Very picturesque. This whole St. Peter's Square is... And this is St. Peter's Square with the famous pigeons landing on people's heads, crapping all over the place. People love it. This is the inn place in Venice. St. Peter's Square. And there's GF with a beard. Strolling through St. Peter's, and then we wound up in Florence. Here we are in my mother's namesake city, Firenza, Italy. Florence, Italy. Beautiful city. Artist's gift to the world. Cathedral, rose window. Michelangelo carved the doors in bronze for this cathedral. Gates of heaven, I think they're referred to. Well, these are the doors. These are the bronze doors, bronze and gold. 400 or 500 years old, and they are just beautiful, depicting scenes from the Bible. Quite lovely. Tried to zoom in on it here, but you can't capture the detail. Well, maybe you can a little bit. There was a head. Tremendous detail down to the minute level.